in the planes of the roof. And I thought about this for a minute and really was really scratching my head at this point in time. And frankly, I didn't have a clue. The rapper got me smiled and he said, sorry, but I'm messing with you again if you. The energy doesn't travel in the copy at all. The energy travels in the space between the traces and the plane. The energy travels in the dielectric. In an FR4 circuit board, the energy travels in the flat. Well, after further testing, I've connected the wires directly to the battery just to see if maybe it was the speed control that went bad, because it's kind of weird to have two motors go at once. But yeah, that's definitely what happened. They're old, many years old. I guess one died and the other one couldn't handle it and went with it. So I guess I had to dig them out of there. I don't want to stay. But yeah, if you're ever going to connect your motor directly to your battery, probably best to lift it off the ground so it doesn't take off on you. It will be full throttle. I'm hoping I can get this transmission or the motors out without taking the transmission out. By pulling that screw there, that's the only screw on that side. That's required. The others, so on this side, if I can just pull that whole plate out and get both motors at once. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe. Probably better to take the transmission out anyways, because then you can clean everything and get the dirt out of it. It's not that big a deal to drop it. 4 bolts. Take off the drive shafts. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, upon further inspection and having removed the motors I should say, looks really like a lot of debris in there. Like, look at this. It's hard to see where that's coming from. But I guess I gotta pull the transmission out anyway just to clean it up, because I don't like that at all.
Can we see the brushes in there? Okay, got the transmission out. You'll notice one of my drive shafts is different than the other. That's because the factory ones are really hard to find, and they're not very good quality from what I could tell. That's why the front one lasts, but the rear one does not. So I read online somewhere the Traxxas one fits perfectly, and it does. And it's way stronger and way cheaper. And it makes it convenient when you move the transmission. It's just telescopic, it just pulls apart. Just slip it back together as you're putting the transmission back. It's actually genius. Anyways, what is all this grindings and filings from? The gears themselves don't actually look bad at all. Because these ones kind of look a little pointy. Bit of a gap in there. Yeah, it's probably those. Plastic one actually looks fine. It's funny, the plastic one wears the metal ones out. How's that possible? But yeah, the other side of the transmission looks fine. It's clean. Well, from what I can tell, I think most of this debris is actually just dirt. I mean, if you look here, there's really only 3 screws that hold this plate on. And it's not airtight for sure, unless you were to put some silicone around this. And I think that's what I'll do when I put it back together. Fill it full of grease and actually put a bead in here. Even some grease in here would prevent the dirt from getting in. I mean, there might be some air gaps in these slots and things in this plate too, but it's hard to tell. But don't like all that dust and debris in there, grinding the gears up. Gears you probably can't even get anywhere. What's that say? I don't know if that's a year or part number. So I guess that brings us to the next stage. What do we get for motors for this thing? What do you guys suggest? I'm thinking keep it brushed. This thing can't handle much torque and power anyways, and the sooner you break it, the sooner you wear the gears out, and so on. The sooner the end of this model, I suppose, because I don't know where you get parts for it anymore. So I'm thinking cheap, just stay cheap, brushed. I was looking at the RC four-wheel drive motors, seem to handle up to 30 volts, which is insane, which means there's no way in hell I'll ever hurt them. They'll just wear out and die of old age like these. I don't know. I was thinking the axial ones. I believe these are 27 turn motors. So if I stay with the same, it should have the same torque and speed and everything. But this model seems to have plenty of torque. It's got 2 motors. So it always seemed a little on the slow side. Maybe I can go to a 20 turn. Pick up a few more RPM. Stay close in the torque range. I don't know. What do you guys think? If I go with anything other than this, then I gotta change speed controls and everything. I'm currently using the one out of the Summit. I like it because it's waterproof and because it does 2 batteries and 2 motors. I got it jumpered, so I'm only using 1 battery. This truck on 3S LiPo with the factory motors was quite lively. Lots of fun to drive, actually. I don't know. Give me your suggestions. What would you use for motors in this?